is a new age of combat.
Human beings, genetically engineered to be the best fighters in history.
Two champions.
It isn't over until someone wins.
At war with each other.
Kill it! I have already killed you.
Two invincible men.
Let's finish it, Alexander, here now.
The ultimate killing machines.
I'm gonna get in this thing, and I'm gonna kick your...
So this is, of course, obviously, it's the audio from the trailer of Robot Jox, which was a film directed by Stuart Gordon in 1989, a classic. You're saying, Tom, is this a good film? And I think that is the wrong question. I think the question is it entertaining? Yes, it's highly entertaining. Before there was Pacific Rim or the Transformers live-action movie, there was Robot Jox. And it's a very cool film. Stars Gary Graham, Anne Marie Johnson, Paul Koslow as Alexander. Anyway, it's basically a giant robot fighting movie. But the thing about it was one of these films that I watched growing up. I grew up in a sort of video store family, you could say, because both of my brothers either worked for a video store or my brother Bruce owned a video store chain. So we'd often get movies home, and they weren't always like the A movies. Sometimes my oldest brother Dan would bring home these B movies from this place called Applause Video, where my cousin worked. Robot Jox, think of like lower rent RoboCop. So it could be a lot of fun to check out. Shout Factory did a Blu-ray release. So it's been not a short while ago, but there's a Blu-ray out of it, and from what I've seen, it looks really good. The remastered trailer looks fantastic, so that's worth checking out. So it's been a hot minute since I've done one of these shows. I've been doing them less and less. I've been trying to do them at least once a month, just keeping the radio show going. But really, I've been using it more for updates on the films. So VHS Massacre and VHS Massacre Too are two feature-length documentaries. The first one is out already. It's on Mubi, which is a pretty cool thing, MUBI, and that's more of like a sort of. It's kind of cool because it's kind of like an art house type of streaming site, but it's on everywhere else. You can get it on Prime and Google Play, iTunes, things like that. Filmrise actually distributed the first one, and which was excellent because they're a really large company. So when I made this film, I really made it as a love letter to trauma, and so I didn't really expect it to go as far as it did. Like, I just wanted to be part of something larger. And at a time, my film career, I didn't have that much going on. I was kind of winding down from a lot of the online stuff I'd done at IGN and Black 20 and NBC Universal. And so, I was working out of college and trying to do independent films, but I didn't have any money. So feature-length documentaries seemed a cool way to go, and I always wanted to do a movie with trauma because they were so important in my childhood. So that's why these things came to effect. So in regard to the second movie, the thing is, like, I had been on kind of a roll with VHS Massacre Too. I entered something like 35 film festivals, and I had gone into like 9, like right off the bat, and they were pretty decent. Like Horror Hound Film Festival, which is a large horror magazine, New Filmmakers New York, Bare Bones International. Some awards were coming back, so the film had won 5 awards fast. We were a semi-finalist at the Los Angeles Film Awards. And so things were going pretty rapid and well until the sort of the coronavirus thing kind of hit. and it kind of killed the momentum for everything. You started seeing these film festivals. You just started seeing every event being canceled, and but what I really admire is that, so it feels like this last month has sort of been a lost month, and it's not that we're not still right in the middle of it, but people are adapting and they are figuring out ways to do things. I just sort of got back on my feet in regard to the classes that I'm taking as a student. I'm trying to finish my MFA at Hunter, and so we started doing online classes, and so we've been able to sort of adapt, and now I feel like, okay, maybe I can actually do a quick show or something. One of the cool things that happened was the Accolade Global Film Competition got back to us, and we actually won in the Best Documentary Feature category. So VHS Massacre Too won in that category, which is awesome. It means that we now have 6 wins for the film. And then other film festivals that we entered, the responsible thing to do was to stop the actual screenings. But a few festivals have done some creative things. The Ann Arbor Film Festival has actually had live streaming to some success. Miami Science Fiction Film Festival, which we're entered into, that festival is doing a virtual awards ceremony where they're probably going to play clips and things like that, which I think is brilliant. Bare Bones, they actually voted. They sent like a survey to the festival, to the people, whether they wanted to do an online thing. So they may actually do the same thing. They may do a virtual awards ceremony, which I think is cool. I'm all about moving forward, you know. 53rd Annual World Fest Houston. It is, I believe it's the second oldest film festival in the United States. I think second only to San Francisco, maybe. Anyway, so they're in their 53rd year. They're adapting. They've had to cancel the screenings to be responsible, but they're still giving out their the Remy Award, which is it's a really cool award. Your favorite directors have all won Remy. So Steven Spielberg, Ridley Scott. You know, if you can name a major filmmaker, they've probably been there at the film festival and physically received their award. So it's a festival. Ang Lee is another guy. So it's a major one, and it's really important. So we're entered into that one too, and we'll find out early next month. The thing I was thinking about too is that Stuart Gordon, you know, he passed away recently, and which is a bummer because I think he was only 72. And the thing is, like, you know, I think he's probably known most for Reanimator and From Beyond. But I enjoyed his films when I was younger, not even knowing that they were his films. So some of them, like Robot Jox or Fortress with Christopher Lambert and films like that, he really did some good work. Like Reanimator is a great horror film. I would call it a classic. I wouldn't even call it a cult classic. I think Reanimator is just a great horror film. It's very theatrical. It's funny. It's horrifying. And From Beyond is just creepy as hell. So those are two, obviously, that you might want to check out if you haven't seen them in a while. Reanimator holds up really well, actually, in its way. It's like a campy theater performance almost. Enjoy the audio from Robot Jox.
It's a new age of combat.
Human beings, genetically engineered to be the best fighters in history.
2 champions
It isn't over until someone wins.
at war with each other.
Achilles! I have already killed you.
2 invincible men.
Let's finish it, Alexander, here now.
The ultimate killing machines.
I'm gonna get in this thing, and I'm gonna kick your...